This is WARBIRD Radio.
And welcome to WARBIRD Radio. I'm Matt Jolley. Glad to be here hanging out with you. If you've not already liked, followed, and subscribed to WARBIRD Radio, what are you waiting on? Come on. Help us out a little bit and like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever you're supposed to do there on social media. And help us out a little bit. We also have a YouTube channel, so for those of you who would prefer to see this on YouTube, you can do that too. And I believe we stream to smart TVs and smart speakers as well. It's just at WARBIRD Radio. We're talking about some of the largest military air shows in the world, really, and certainly in the United States. From America's Air Show, the Miramar Airshow, please welcome Christopher Van Stelle. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
Your call sign's Oz. Glad to have you on here, and we all call you Oz. But I wanted to rewind just a little bit because it's been a while since you've been on the show. How did you get into this? Because when I first met you, you were straight up a Warbird guy hanging out with the CAF and doing something with them. You want to backfill just a little bit, if you don't mind, Chris.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, this goes back 10 plus years where the CAF was doing a local show here in San Diego. We're flying Warbirds, T6s, T-34s, all the cool stuff. And at the same point in time, a good friend of mine, Mr. Ed Downham, Airshow Ed, was the Airshow Director here at Miramar in San Diego. He and I got to be good friends. I was running a small show out of Gillespie Field, where I fly out of here, called Wings Over Gillespie. And Ed and I would talk air shows, and he would help me get smarter on the military air shows, which I knew absolutely nothing about back then. And we just kind of grew from there. I started following him around here at Miramar to kind of learn how the military side of it works and learn about the bigger stuff. And after about 3 plus or 4 years of following around here, he decided to retire. And he looks at me and says, you should probably put in for this. And the rest is history, as they say.
It sure is. And back then, part of that job was the Flying Leathernecks Air Museum, which has since closed its doors there on the base, but the aircraft have gone elsewhere in and around the area there. But you have one heck of a show lineup this year, and I'm just going to run down a few of them, and I'll let you fill in here. But the world-famous MAGTAF of Miramar, which is unlike any MAGTAF in the world, is back this year. And, of course, you've got the Blue Angels, the F-35, the Marine F-35, which is the best air show airplane, I think, ever. Am I wrong?
You know what? Everyone has their personal opinion. I work for the Marine Corps, therefore I got to say the F-35 Bravo is the best. I got to tell you, I like the F-22 a lot. Just saying.
It is, and I've said that for years that it's the best. But, that F-35, when it starts pulling up into that goofy hover-looking thing that it does, it's loud. You can't even hear you. I mean, you can't hear yourself think. Literally.
It is. And its build is to be quieter than the Harrier, which it replaces. And yet, no, there's no way it's quieter.
Not in a rental car at 500 feet away. I can attest it is not quieter than a Harrier.
And you and I sat at Show Center when that thing hovers
gosh.
200 feet away. And we're both just looking at each other like, okay, there goes the hearing.
Yep. It reminds me of the older, you remember that jet? And gosh, my mind is slipping right now. I'm getting older, I guess. But the jet that it was a turboprop, and they used to say it would make the ground crew members ill when it would come by because it was so loud. That's what the F-35 reminds me of.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful to see. And step back a bit, with the F-35, but also the MAGTAF demo, which a lot of people don't know what that is, Marine Air Ground Task Force, but it's actually a Marine Corps military tactical exercise that we just drop into the middle of the air show. It is
it is the air show to me. I mean, it totally makes it. Totally makes sense.
And so and then what we do is we take out a lot of the timing pieces because the whole point of the air show is the show piece. And so we take out some of the timing pieces and some other things to tighten it up in front of the crowd. But this year, we're actually going a little bit bigger We're adding more aircraft to the MAGTAF. And you're right. Earlier you said, we're the only ones in the Marine Corps that does the full MAGTAF demo, which includes not just an air combat element, but a ground combat element. We used to have tanks when the Marine Corps had tanks. Now we've got ACVs and some other stuff in there, pyro, et cetera, et cetera. But we're adding more F-35s into our act. We now have 46 F-35s organic here in Miramar, so might as well put some of them up in the air and have a good time with it.
You know what I love about that show, and this is so. I'm going to rewind a little bit. Back when Ed was still there, and it was my first year doing Miramar with Rob, and I've been there a number of years now as one of the announcers, and it's remarkable. You finish the MAGTAF, and you're like, oh my God, they have resecured the airfield. I mean, there's Marines popping up out of nowhere, running down the field with assault weapons. I mean, it's just incredible. It is an immersive experience. There's Humvees hanging from helicopters and jets and explosions and all that. Just when you think it's over, all of a sudden, pyro hits again, and it's walking down the runway, and you're thinking, oh my God, what now? And here come the tanks, or now the not track vehicles, but the assault vehicle, and it all comes full circle. What the United States Marine Corps is all about. And that's the reason for this show. Does this impact recruiting?
It absolutely does. Our primary purpose of the air show, obviously, militaries are internally we call them open houses, but they're recruiting events, 100%, community relations and recruiting. And so as a standalone event, the Miramar Airshow is one of the largest recruiting efforts in the United States outside of Fleet Weeks. And that's for all branch services, not just the Marine Corps. So this is massive for recruiting. And we really keep that in mind in how we lay things out in the show. On the ramp, we give every recruiter tons of space. We want everybody to come out and experience not just the Marine Corps, but the Air Force, the Army. We even have the Coast Guard here, still waiting for Space Force to show up, just saying.
You know what kills me about this stuff is that I don't want to get into the weeds of the airshow business. If you want to do that, go listen to Show Center, the Airshow podcast, our other show that is full up air shows. But, one branch in particular went to this every other year model, every 3 years, every whatever. COVID hits, they don't do anything for 2 or 3 years. You guys are every year. And it's not just every year. You take care of your people. You have unbelievable hospitality there for a military air show. And it's a fundraiser, too. I mean, this all helps the Marines. How can folks come and see the show if they want that elevated experience?
No, and I appreciate you mentioned that. It is. I mean, we take it to heart that this is a community relations thing, and that includes how we welcome people to the show. We welcome people onto our installation. We want them to have a good time. That means a good guest experience. So for us, obviously, it's a military air show. It's free. Anyone can just show up. However, we also offer that upgraded experience with chalets, branded experiences, and other things. You go to our website, you can buy a ticket there, and you can get anything from just a basic seat with some shade and water all the way up to the full-up catered, all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink, full-day experience right on the flight line. Performers will come by, talk to you. Marine Corps leadership will come by and talk to you. It's really, really, I think, a great value for what we charge for it. And you're right. I do want to bring up the other part is we do make a lot of money in doing that. And where that money goes is to support Marine family programs and services, childcare, tuition assistance, things like that. Really good things that this installation needs.
And that doesn't happen. I can say this as a now newly minted retired military spouse. The money is so tight for these programs that the federal government simply does not have the means to support these programs. And so you have to have events like this to do it. It's multifaceted, though. It helps tell the story of the United States Marine Corps. And as you said, in a very giving way, the other services. And just if I can, Chris, just get on the soapbox for just a second. So many military installations, and I am not going to name service branches in this. They know who they are. They invite folks out there, and then when they get there, it is a complete and total disaster. The security lines are 2 hours long. It takes an hour to park. You march in the hot, steaming sun. Then when you get there, you sit where? In the sun. And you bake. You invite people into your home, and then you treat them like just dirt, and then you say, hey, look, why don't you tell your kids to come and work here? And then you march them back out and make them wait for 2 hours to get onto a bus. I mean, it's nuts. When you come to Miramar, that is not the experience at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. We put a lot of time and effort into this. And I do say we, I mean, the whole reason my role exists here is because we are an annual airship, and we need that annual oversight and program management. But, it's an evolution. We didn't start out this way. When the Marine Corps took this over from the Navy in 1998 here, the air show was kind of more like you're describing back then. And that's not a dig on the Navy. It's just that's how they chose to do it. And then the Marine Corps came in and said, hey, we have this opportunity here. We're the largest messaging platform in the DoD. Why don't we step up our game? And so it has been a 20-year evolution to get it to where it's at. And I do appreciate your compliments in it. But every single year, we do try and make it better. And it is a point to do so.
Well, it's a world-class experience. I'm just telling you, they have a parking consultant. I've seen it with my own eyes going to the briefing. Traffic's backed up. We made a phone call to Ray Shaw within 5 or probably, let's just say, I'm going to say 5 minutes, but within 15 minutes, the entire backup was it dissolved. And I thought to myself right then, this guy knows what he's doing, who's running this. And you as an individual airshow director, Christopher, hey, great job. I would encourage you, if you've not been to the Miramar Airshow at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, the home of the 80s Top Gun. You got to go. You've got to go. This is the hangar already torn down, or can they still get a glimpse of it?
No, the hangar is still there.
Okay.
It is scheduled for demo starting October. We actually had to delay them a month so we could do this little thing we call an air show here.
Yeah, so go see it. Let's just go down the list. The Blue Angels are going to be there. F-16 Viper demo plus Heritage with the Mustang, I hear.
Yes.
F-35 we talked about. You got Hot Streak. Who else? Kent's going to be there. Kent Peach, one of my favorites.
And mine too. And I got to tell you, I walk into my office this morning and there is 12 boxes of Jelly Belly all over my office. So I know Kent's coming,
That's right. Yeah, he mails them ahead. Talk about Warbirds over Miramar. This is a Warbird show. What are you going to have?
So this is something we had done pre-COVID. Last year we had more military acts, so we had to drop it out. This year we have it back. It's simply, my roots where I came from, bringing them back. Any warbirds, meaning, anything from the 40s or 50s that flew in war, T-6s, T-34s, T-28s, P-51s, and some other stuff coming out. Basically, it's just going to be a big act of a lot of planes in the air with pyro flying around, really showing the history of where the Marine Corps came from in the 40s and 50s. And then we'll book in that with the F-35, the Blue Angels, the future of the branch services after that.
Pride in the past, faith in the future. We got Goulian there, Michael Goulian, the SOCOM para-commandos of all the parachute teams. Those guys, I'm telling you, they ought to be called Red. A lot of them. Retired and extremely dangerous, because some of them still serve on the para-commandos team, which is just remarkable. You also have the U-2 and Precision Exotics. Our friend Eric's going to be back there, and the lovely Miss Vicky Benzing, who was just on the show.
And I love Vicky. She's a phenomenal, just a good person. Not to mention her whole pedigree of being a doctor, a phenomenal airshow pilot, a phenomenal world record holder, a phenomenal Reno Air Race pilot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We want to bring the best here to Miramar. We look at our show as being a tier 1 show. We want to bring the best here. You did forget 3 acts though.
I was saving Red Bull, but go ahead. What else do we have? Yeah.
Red Bull was one of them, but then there's 2 people, which you were not remiss in reminding me that somebody left off our website.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you jump on me here. My good buddy, Rob Ryder.
Rob Ryder, who I love to death, and you as well. And then, there is somebody else who was supposed to be up on the website and now it isn't, now that you called attention to it. And that's our friends from the PAC-AF, the C-17 demo team, are going to be out here.
And do we still have the RC guys and gals at the beginning?
No, not in the beginning. And the reason for that is because Eric does some runway racing.
Yeah, that's hard to say. Well, good.
Well, apparently at 9 a.m. it is. And so those two things just conflict. We're bringing in that more higher end experience for folks. So we'll stick with the runway racing for that. But we're missing our C-17 demo on our website. So apparently our experience isn't that good. So I will work on that today. I mean, I was planning on going to the beach. I don't really have anything else going on,
right.
So.
Nothing else going on except an air show in a few weeks.
Look, now I'll work on the website too.
I cannot wait to get there. It's like, when the pumpkin spice stuff starts showing up at the grocery store, I know that Kent Peach is mailing those jelly bellies, and it's almost time to do Miramar. So.
What other airshow podcast brings up pumpkin spice?
I'm telling you, right? Hey, thanks so much, Chris. We'll be right back with more Warbird action right after this.
Lock and load. This is WARBIRD Radio. Tune in. Take off. This is WARBIRD Radio.
And welcome back here to WARBIRD Radio. Matt Jolley here with you. By the way, the Miramar Airshow, you can find out more at miramarairshow.com. It's going to be quick linked into the show story down at the bottom. All right, Miramar the week before, and then you just hang out down there in sunny Southern California. The first weekend of October, you roll forward a few days, literally like the next weekend. Pacific Airshow, Huntington Beach, the largest, I say the largest air show, the best air show in the world, happening right then in Huntington Beach. The godfather of the event, Ken Ashmore, is on the phone with me right now. Ken, how you doing?
Oh, Matt. Oh, geez. Great to be with you. Doing great.
I have had
an awesome show coming up here.
Well, yeah, and I've had Kevin on the show, but I've never had you on the show, and I wanted to have you because a lot of people don't realize this, but your family in particular has been in the air show industry for a very, very long time, generations, in fact, and a lot of people don't know this about you. But your great uncle, who lived and worked not very far from here, where I'm talking to you, in Carrollton, Georgia, but he was the guy responsible for selling Roscoe Turner his Lion. And a lot of people don't realize that that's when your family, the Ashmore family, got into the air show business behind the scenes, promoting and finding daring performers the world over, like a bunch of traveling gypsies. And here you are today, working now for the best air show in the world, Pacific Airshow. I think that's really cool.
Oh, yeah, we go way back. Certainly do.
That was about as convincing as that whole story, which is why I love you, Ken Ashmore. Oh my goodness! So who's coming to Pacific Airshow, Huntington Beach? Because we're coming right out of Gold Coast. This is Huntington Beach, downtown Los Angeles area, Surf City, USA, where I'm talking.
All right, well, Matt, I will jump into our list of performers here. This isn't any particular order here, but it is amazing lineup. Every year that we've been doing this show, we're always wondering how we're going to top the next one, but I think we have topped it with this lineup. So I kick it off with the U.S. Navy's Leapfrogs parachute team coming in. Then we also have the from down in Louisiana and New Orleans we have the Bayou Militia, four F-15s coming from.
Now just stop right there, because this is what cracks me up about this air show. You find these folks from all over the United States and all over the world, for that matter, and they're all loud. How many jets are in this show?
Jets.
You got four F-15s screaming in right over the top of the jumpers.
At least 40 something. That's a lot.
40 jets. Yeah, holy smokes!
Jets, right?
40 jets. Because you've got the Snowbirds and the United States Air Force Thunderbirds there.
Yes, we do. That's a good number right there.
Greg Collier times 2, right?
Yeah. We do. We got those. So
the T-33s are there, which is really cool. The Ace Maker, It's a duet with, I guess, Rob Mitchell, the former
Yeah,
former
Scratch.
Snowbird commander. Yeah. Scratch is who is his wingman. What else is there? The F-22?
Yes, we have the F-22. We'll have a few growlers coming. We have four. It'll be four F-35 since we have both Navy Navy F-35C and Air Force with their F-35A demos.
And no Marine F-35. It would be so cool to have all three there.
We'll stand by.
Pass.
It's not out of the question that could be an.
I mean, that would just
We've
be.
got a few weeks left yet.
Yeah, not many, but boy, that would be cool. And so that's in the maybe. That's a maybe.
Stand by. We'll on that one. I'll let you know. I hope that one comes through. Then we also have from the Navy their Super Hornet demo as well. So we have all three of the Navy's single ship
smokes.
Holy smokes. And if you want to go into more another jet, we also have Jet Waco in the show too, right? With Jared Lindman flying that one.
That's going to be awesome. No Yak 110 this year because it's down in Australia.
Unfortunately, we had to leave that one behind. Would love to have gotten that back over.
Yeah,
but,
it's turned into a drop bear this time of year where it's hibernating, just waiting to attack, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
I love it. I think that's great that you've got all of these jets. Now, what about Warbirds? Because there's always a Warbird contention there at Pacific Airshow. What do you have?
We do. We have from the Lion Air Museum. We'll have their C-47. That's the Willadine flying in the show. That's be Matt Walker and Steve Johnson flying that one. We also have for Heritage Flight, we will have Steve Hinton Jr. That is Steve-O will be flying a P-51 Mustang. The Wee Willie 2 is what he'll be flying. And for Navy Legacy, actually we're standing by because we just had a change on that one. So standing by on what that Warbird's going to be.
I guarantee you, Shelley Tobel, if she's hearing that, she loves to come to Huntington Beach. I think we got to call Jim and just see.
The call is in.
You never know. I mean, Shelley, this is your chance to come home. Here we go. Well, I think it's going to be awesome. So you have Navy Legacy, Heritage Flight, the Blue Angels, every demo practically that the Air Force has.
It's Thunderbirds.
Not Thunderbirds, the Thunderbirds, yeah. Did I say the Blue Angels? It's that time of day. You've got everybody, and you've had everybody there before.
3 weeks left, Blue Angels. Nothing's out of the question. But then, so we also have the great Michael Goulian in the show. We have the Red Bull helicopter, Aaron Fitzgerald flying a Red Bull, amazing Red Bull aerobatic helicopter. We have, and coming all the way from Australia, as you just saw, we have the legendary aviator Matt Hall, and he's also the still reigning Red Bull Air Race champion.
And what about Emma? Is Emma McDonald coming as well?
Along with Emma McDonald coming as well, so they'll be flying a nice two-ship act in this show.
I love it. Well, it's going to be a great chance for folks to not only experience what next level hospitality and entertainment are like at Pacific Airshow, but it's a great chance just to come and see one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So if you're listening to this and maybe you're in New Zealand, we have the Wings Over New Zealand show now back as Warbird Radio Down Under. It debuted, I guess, on the 8th. Yeah, the 8th of September. So anyhow, that show now back on officially on Warbird Radio. So a lot of listeners down there, come up to the sister air show from the one we just did there in Queensland. Come on up and see it. It's not too late to get a ticket on Qantas and fly straight into LA and experience this show from really anywhere in the world. You can get a flight to LA fairly affordably and just come on down and see it. There's camping on the beach too, which a lot of people don't realize. You can come down, and you can, if there's space, you can camp out on the beach in a motorhome or something like that. Lots of ways to see the show. What is your favorite part, though, about Pacific Airshow? Because all kidding aside, Ken, you've done a lot of these all over the place, now all over the world. What do you love about this event?
Just this event, it's just that it's a place I grew up actually. So I was grew up right there in Orange County. So it's really near and dear to my heart, and grew up on that beach. So that's just being able to be there and seeing how that city grew up. It was just a sleepy little beach town when I spent a lot of time there, and then it suddenly grew up into where it could accommodate a big event like this, and they jumped on board, and it's just been fantastic what we've been able to pull off there, and especially working with Kevin Elliott, as you know, because Kevin Elliott takes those dreams of what you knew this show could be, and he just takes it there and beyond. So that really, all that together just makes for an amazing event.
I could not agree with you more. And Pacific Airshow, if you just visit the website, there for Pacific Airshow. It's quick linked into the show story. The best part about this, we were talking to Christopher Van Stelle right before you came on. You can go from one to the other. In fact, that's what we're going to be doing. Wayne Boggs, myself, along with Ray Shaw and a couple of other folks, Tibbsy, we're all going to be at Miramar, and we're going to hop in the rental car on Sunday night, and we're going to go from Miramar straight down to Pacific Airshow and have fun for that week, and then do it all over again with Pacific Airshow Huntington Beach. You cannot, I'm telling you, you cannot miss this event. You heard all the airplanes, even some vintage military stuff with Heritage Flight and Legacy, and then jets. What did you say now? 40 jets, Ken?
I guess it's just somewhere in the 40 range there. Yep, 40 plus.
Unbelievable hospitality, too. I'm telling you, next level hospitality. Find it at Pacific Airshow right there on their website. Quick linked into the show story. Ken Ashmore, the godfather. The godfather of Pacific Airshow. Thanks for coming.
Looking forward to having you at Huntington Beach. We'll see you soon.
All right. So long, Ken. Take care.
Thanks.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Now, I'm so serious. If you can, you got to get out west with this. Come down to Miramar, hang out with the Marines, the MAGTAF. Unreal experience. You've got to come and see it. Then Pacific Airshow the very next weekend. I'm going to be at both. You can also follow along not only at WARBIRD Radio, but also at Airshow Announcer. Just at, and then Airshow Announcer. That website, airshowannouncer.com, if you want to follow along there. Would love to have you on there. My official Airshow Announcer website and social media handle, it's at Airshow Announcer. So if you have a question while you're at the show and you want to send me something, you can do it at Airshow Announcer. All right, that's it for this week. A lot of you have been asking. We do have legacy episodes coming out as they become available. So stay tuned to warbirdradio.com. So long for now, everybody.
This is WARBIRD